honored and privileged. We've been trying to make this thing happen for a while, and finally it is. The one and only Ocean, or Ocean to some of you, Kelly. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yes, good morning. I'm doing well. I really hate being late. It's my biggest pet peeve. I am so sorry, but we're here and we're gonna have a good time.
Well, you know what? You're not late. You're just in time.
Period.
You arrived at the time that you were supposed to be here, and I'm excited about that.
Love that.
Now, let's get started at the beginning, because you are who I have dubbed, you can take it or leave it, you are the chameleon of hip hop.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Every time we turn around, it's a different persona. It's a different look. It's giving difference.
Yep.
Every time.
Yes, yes.
It's giving variety.
Yes.
And so that's what drew me to you. I'm like, who is this cat? So I talked to a lot of people, and I want to say that there are a lot of LGBTQ artists that built this station. I want to say, you, Bugs Gutta, Zebra Cats,
yes.
all of those folks. Cakes the Killer. Did I say that already? Cakes the Killer.
Cakes, absolutely. Yeah.
All of you guys built this station because you are the creme de la creme of who is in the LGBTQ spectrum of hip hop and hip hop overall. So I am glad that you were here. I am honored that you were here. So let's get into the nitty gritty. You are here from Atlanta?
Yeah, so I'm actually from Gainesville. So I'm from the country. I'm up north.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like I just been slowly just, getting closer and closer to the city. Everything I do is here. All my friends is here. So yeah, pretty much, you know what I'm saying? It's the metro area. You know how everybody nowadays always talks about it's not Atlanta. What's Atlanta? What
right, it's not Atlanta.
It's not Atlanta.
You're right.
But yeah, I always grew up in the metro area, so.
Okay, so being influenced by Atlanta culture, hip hop culture, I hear a lot of influences in your music. I definitely hear them, but I want to hear who they are for you.
Okay, so I always tell people that my father would be Andre 3000.
I knew that. That was on the top of the list. It was on top of the list.
Absolutely. I always say that my auntie is Missy Elliott.
Okay.
And between Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki as a collective, I just think when they came out, it was something so refreshing to just experiment in music. And just all of those people, Busta Rhymes, absolutely.
Definitely.
In terms of speed as well, in terms of the way that he just has like such a consistent flow. But I just really value them because they're fearless, They have a lot of range, and that's my favorite word. I love to say that because it just is, range to me is just being fearless and saying, if this sounds good to me, if I know I have the ability to do this, or even if I don't, but I'm just moved by it, I'm going to try it. So that's what I always try to do. And yeah.
So now when you go into the studio, because again, the personas come out differently every time.
Yeah.
Do you go in with a recipe and mix it up, or do you say I'm just going to go and this is what is your creative process? I'm
always influenced by things that are like currently happening. Like whenever I go and record, even when I think about just Black Pamela, like my drag persona, and
love it.
When I think about it, it wasn't even intentional. She was born during the pandemic, and I didn't really know what I wanted to create. But I've just did so much music in ballroom and just songs like that I was like, how come I don't ever do this for myself? And it just naturally just merged. So then just even where we are now, it's just after going through, some things last year and just everything just feels right on time. So I don't know, just going in there, it's like, just do what you're doing in the moment, and do, I guess, like, do what you're doing, like where you are, so to speak. So yeah, it's never a recipe. It's just run and gun.
You make it sound so easy, and you talk about how you are reflective of the different influences of your life, all the artists, your adopted hip hop family. How did you become comfortable just being you? Because I know there probably were some nuances along the way, some traversing to get to where you are and the comfortability where you talk about that journey.
Having good people around you. That's it. Having friends. Everybody I know is queer. Everybody I know is Black. All my friends, I just, it's really the company that you keep, because I would not be able to do it, without some of the people in my life, and I'm very thankful to them. I remind them of it every day. So yeah, I think that when you do that, you don't even question it, because you have like this body armor because of the people around you and your collective that just allows you to just be yourself. Growing up, my father used to manage me. I had, just people from just around the city managing me as I grew up, and I think a lot of them had good intent, but I never felt like the person I was supposed to be, so to speak. So I think sometimes feeling that energy of being sheltered in that moment and then finding this collective of friends just clubbing and just growing up in the city is just like, okay, I'm here now, you know? I remember one of my exes always be like, damn, you always going out. You know, you just always in the club, always in the streets. And it's like, I'm so happy I did that because that gave me the freedom to dress how I want to dress, acting a fool in thongs and Piedmont, just, you know, being free and just being myself. And once I felt that in myself because of the people around me, I just put it in the music, you know?
Wow, amazing, an amazing journey. Let's talk about ballroom because I hear that influence there as well.
Absolutely.
When we look at ballroom now and how it is matriculating into the mainstream.
Yep.
Did I use that word correctly? I think I did. My college education is kicking in. How it's matriculated into the main subculture, the outlying culture.
Yep.
How do you feel about ballroom now that it's kind of being rebranded from its original? From its origin?
Well, okay, so for me, my journey through ballroom is very interesting and weird. When I was in high school, do you know Joanne the Scammer, Joanne Prada, Miss Prada?
Yes.
So we were really good friends when I was growing up, and I just was obsessed with the music, and I actually was introduced to ballroom through music because of B. Ames, who was a huge, person.
Love them.
Love B. Ames, who's also on my new project. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yep.
But no, so I actually created a song for Miss Prada called Voodoo P Word. And it just kind of took off, and I'm seeing people voguing to it on YouTube and stuff. And it's just so crazy because I'm just this kid in high school who's like, what is going on here? So to go from that and then to just, be introduced to B. Ames and so many other incredible producers in the ballroom scene and just being obsessed, Kevin, Jay-Z, Prodigy, like that's where my influence, like I'm not in ballroom. I've been in a house before, child, and got kicked out.
Oh my, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. No, but yeah, I got introduced to it through music. So once I realized the inner workings of ballroom and just the structure and what's happening, it honestly reminded me a lot of hip hop. Like hip hop came as this gritty underground thing, and once it became mainstream, look where we are now. Yeah. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. So there's parts of it where I respect the people's opinion in the community who are concerned about who it's reaching and what they're doing to it and how they can water it down. But you also got to remember, anything that is powerful, anything that's a movement, especially if you stay strong in that, as it evolves, it's just going to evolve,
Right.
And I love making sure that we honor the people who, are the starters of that, from all the way around. So I think it's good and bad. I do. I think it has its ups and downs.
Now, we were talking earlier about your adopted family, hip hop family,
Yes.
Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, Andre 3000, all of those were on my list. I said I can hear the influences of that. When you go into the studio, I just imagine there are 20 people in the studio with you at the same time, all in your head.
Absolutely.
What is the process when you get ready to go into the studio and create a project? Is there a theme, or do the songs just kind of come and then you make a theme for the album? How does it work for you?
I guess it just kind of depends. I can't stress this enough. Like, I know it sounds a little cheesy. I really do just go with the flow. Like, everything is like a puzzle piece to me. Even the most recent project I was working on, shout out to my co-producer, C Breeze. He was asking me, just as we're creating, sometimes he'd be like, is the chorus gonna come up? Is it about to be? I'm like, I don't know, but I know that you keep playing it, and once you figure it out, it'll help me. Because I feel like that's really just where we are sonically as people anyways. You want to just experience things as they naturally should be and not how we think that they're supposed to be. So sometimes I will go in there and I may freestyle something and just kind of catch a vibe, or I'll record one line, think about it for a second, record the next line, and then sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to sit down, get out the pen and paper, get out the notepad or the phone, and just figure it out that way. It really just depends on the vibe. So, like you said, 20 people, I don't know which one for to come out that day. Like,
so when you were doing Black Pamela, which I love that era. I love that. Is that an actual persona for you in drag? Do you perform as Black Pamela?
Yes, yeah. I definitely did throughout the entire Black Pamela era, and then after that, just continued to perform. Even with her, it's so funny because her name wasn't Black Pamela until I just realized what was going on. I started making songs like Spring Bling, and I started making these flirtier, more boom boom wham in your face tracks that just was an extension of me creating her throughout the pandemic by just hanging out with my friends that were doing makeup. And I was like, well, let me try and let's have fun and let's play around. So as I saw her be created, I just, was obsessed with blonde hair, and I just felt like this bombshell. And I thought that this thick, black, beautiful woman could be just as sickening as Black Pamela Anderson. So I just thought it was a good play off the word. And she was just born. She was just born out of that,
I love it. Okay. So now thickness in the industry quite often is not given positivity. We see all the stuff that Lizzo goes through right about now. And we even saw when Missy was the thicker Missy, what she had to go through, how, people tried to rebrand her and retypecast her, if you will. How was it for you in our community? You know how we are, with all the aesthetics. How was it for you coming in totally as you are and representing that?
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, just because prior to her, I have, just been making music and putting it online for so long. I've been slimmer, and before Pamela came in, I was doing things fully from a masculine or even a mask femme perspective. And I think when people saw it, they some people probably felt weird or like, what are you doing? And da-da-da. One thing that I learned is that I trust myself more than anybody. Like I said, I got good people around me. It doesn't change anything in my life in terms of like people's attraction to me, because also you have to be attracted to people as well. So nothing has changed for me that I've visually seen. I just do what I do. I can't stress that enough. Like I can't allow the world to dictate just where I am and just who I am. We all have those internalized battles of the beauty standards and things like that, but I believe in speaking it. I know I'm a beautiful person, and I just move in that with that energy. You have to, because it will break you. The thought about it, reminiscing on when I was younger or slimmer or this or that. You are beautiful where you are. If you believe it, or
right.
you see what I'm saying? Because you have to, because the world will try to break you, and I'm just like, boom, running gun, let's go. Yeah, we here.
Yeah, if you have a clear vision of who you are, the rest really doesn't matter. As my co-host says quite often, those who mind, those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter.
Don't matter.
So that's very important. Now, let's talk about, you just mentioned that, and it's kind of a discussion on Black Twitter right about. I keep up with y'all on Black Twitter. Y'all talk about some crazy stuff. But the conversation that's floating around right now is the difference and the nuances between femme and mask in the gay community, and how those duos don't always go together. How do you feel being in this hip hop industry and being totally who you are? How does that dichotomy work for you? And what do you see it as in the community, that mask versus femme in the hip hop industry?
I think the reason, okay, let me take my time, because the reason why we do that in specifically the Black gay community, that's the one that, that's the one we're part of. That's what I see as well online. It all comes from these like hetero ideologies of how we're supposed to move. The man's supposed to do this, the woman's supposed to do this. We have taken that, and now we do it from a perspective of like what you do in the bedroom, it's very. It's time for us to move forward. We really gotta allow people to be who they are. I have femme friends who, naturally will date other femme people. It took a minute, like, for them to unlearn this idea, like, I don't have to be a certain way to be attracted to these people. Like, the more you unlearn for yourself, the more you realize how you are attracted to the world and how many people in the world are attracted to you. I don't think that we need to sit here and be concerned about I don't know. It's kind of sad. But for me, I don't care if you think I'm femme. I don't care if you think I'm masked. I'm just Ocean Kelly. So one thing you can't say is that the music isn't there. And that's why I believe in putting the music first, period. Because to me, it's kind of like a FU to society and those standards, to just be like, I'm going to do this in drag. I'm going to do this out of drag. I'm just going to do whatever I want to do, because it's always thought out. It's always from a place of love, and it always has a vision. And I'm always going to fight to execute that. So,
Well, here's one final question on that same plane. There are a lot of artists, and no offense to any of those artists, there are a lot of LGBTQ hip hop artists, especially, who don't want to be known as LGBTQ artists. And I get it, but I don't get it. And so the question I always ask is, do you mind being coined an LGBTQ hip hop artist?
Oh, I definitely don't mind. It kind of reminds me of what people will do with females in the rap industry, where, you know, they will like use the term and like heavily focus on who's the hottest female rapper. Like, they love using the word female to, you know, almost like make them feel a part of this pocket that isn't part of the bigger picture. But I am queer, so I have to represent that. But at the same time, I am part of that bigger picture as well. So I think both of those things can and should exist at the same time. I'm a queer artist that is also going to be and working to be a staple in the overall, you know, hip hop industry. So yeah, I think both of those things can exist.
Yeah, because you've already gotten a lot of attention from the mainstream. I do this like that because we are mainstream too, whether y'all know it or not.
Period. Yeah.
But you've gotten a lot of attention from the mainstream regarding your flow, regarding your aesthetic, regarding how you just lay it down. How does that feel? You know, being an LGBTQ artist, being fully yourself, being queer. How does that attention feel for you, or is that the main goal?
I'm just very thankful. I'm very humbled by it, honestly. It really, whenever I do anything, as I elevate, I just want to work harder. It really just makes me want to work harder. Last year has been so incredible. I'm so thankful to, and just mind you, by other Black queer people who have put me on in with some of these opportunities. One of my homies, J Sport and Leonce, we just did Boiler Room in Atlanta. It was insanity. It was thousands of people. You know, I wouldn't have got the opportunity without them. So, just stuff like that. It always makes me think, you know, let's do this bigger, let's do this better, and let's keep going. Like, it just excites me, honestly. It really is just exactly where I was last summer, having fun and just feeling like sexy and free and all this like Black queerness around me, and just everybody's having fun, just being wild and just like experiencing life. So for this song is covered in all of that. So
wow. All right, so let's get into it. I'll let you introduce this next single. Do it in the way that you would like to do it, and we'll play it. It's the We Are You Morning Crew. You heard it debuting right here on WERUradio, the urban sound of pride, the one and only Ocean Kelly. And if you want to be fancy, Ocean, you know, if you want to just over-enunciate things, you know how we do sometimes. Man, that's my first time hearing it.
Oh my God, I love how you did your British accent. I'm gonna try to do mine. I'm not really good at it.
If anybody from the Brit, and we have a lot of listeners in England, they probably say no, don't do it anymore.
Like, just let it go.
But man, that was nice. I like, you know, I picked up a lot of the summertime vibe. I picked up that. I can't pick up where that sample is from. That beat, that backbeat. I think I've heard it in a Janet Jackson song.
Close.
What was it?
You remember Anaj, Time After Time?
Yep. Yes, they did it back. I knew that.
Yep.
I knew it.
Yep.
Because I'm oldest time, I actually know the artist he's talking about. So yeah, for those of you that don't, go look it up. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think they have that somewhere in here. But yeah, that's the beat. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So you have a lot of old school references in your music. How was that for you? Because I know Farilla Star does that a lot as well. How is that? Because you did that with Spring Bling as well.
Yep. Well, I just you know. It feels good nowadays, like you said, since sometimes music can feel so rushed and it could feel like there isn't an experience attached to it. I think that's why a lot of artists these days try to sample, or I'm not even sure if it's sampling though. A lot of people will take the exact same beat and then, you know, will do bars over it. And for me, I'm like, if you're going to take a sample of something, let's make it different. Let's
rework it.
Yeah, rework it and make it and really make it something unique. So for me, this record is almost like the Black Queer 2023 version of Anaj's Time After Time. You know, same vibe, same energy, just like very flirty and bright and just outside. You know, just very summertime. So
now you have evolved in over all these years. How long have you been doing this now?
I've been performing since I was 11.
Wow. So were you a church boy growing up? Was that some of your musical background, or what was your background?
I did go to church. Honestly, just growing up as a kid on the internet, I felt like I was just able to see everything. My dad used to listen to a lot of Outkast, which is what got me into that. Outkast, Goody Mob. So honestly, I think it was just growing up, just listening to rap in the internet. I don't know. I just have a very weird journey with my inspirations. Sometimes it's not even music. It could just be how I felt when I was in 8th grade. Maybe a song I was listening to on the bus could have influenced like where my music is now. So I don't know. I just like sticking with things that made me feel something, whether good or bad, and adding that to my music, basically.
Another question that I always ask the artists that come on the station: if you could go back and talk to your 11-year-old self,
yes,
looking at where you are now, what would you say to him?
I would say I would say everyone knows nothing. You don't either. So do what you want to do.
Okay. Say that again for the people in the background, please.
I would say that everyone knows nothing. You don't either. So do what you want to do.
Wow.
Have fun. Just there will be people who will tell you, as long as you're moving in love, as long as you're moving in with intent, do what you want to do.
We have so many legislations that are going on around the country. I think it's now over 350 laws or amendments that have been made in different states.
Yep.
What does pride mean to you in 2023?
Pride to me in 2023 means letting it all show, letting it all hang out, so to speak. The feeling of growing up, the feeling that Black queer people, especially in the South, you feel, even when we go to barbershops in our community, sometimes as queer people, you want to, pull the shirt down. You want to make the shorts a little shorter, stuff like that. It's time. If you are not aware of where we are in the world and that queer people exist, that is officially on you in 2023. So to me, pride is saying, watch me, I'm here. Look at me, look at us, we're here. It's not, a lot of growing up, a lot of people will say things like, I don't have a problem with gay people. It's just I don't like the ones who da-da-da. It's not that people are always there are people with bigger personalities. It's not about that. You think all in your faces when my shorts don't go to the length you want them to, or my hair isn't the color or length or style that is you think it's supposed to be. That's what you're considering in your face. And now we don't buy it anymore. So yeah, 2023 pride, let it all hang out.
That's it. I agree with you 100%. But I always say that pride started with a riot.
Yes.
For people to be heard.
Yes.
And now even more that these laws are trying to cancel out people's lives. You got to be even louder.
Yes.
Because we're not going away. This station is the platform that I created for LGBTQ artists and those who are allies of our community.
Which is incredible, by the way.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I want to make sure that Pride is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day.
Period.
And that is what it is. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you, how they can get in touch with you, if they want to follow you and all that good stuff, want to book you.
Yes.
That's your grind right there.
Period.
So give them all that rundown real quick.
Well, I definitely want to plug oceankelly.com. Is probably the easiest way. It'll give you all my handles, brand new website, brand new merch for this new project. So everything, everywhere, Instagram, all of that is Hey Ocean Kelly. But if you go to oceankelly.com, make it simple, you'll get everything.